morning, everybody. Oh, I love Wednesdays. Wednesdays are absolutely fabulous. And I can see there's lots of you with us already this morning. So I'm just going to do a couple of quick hellos and a couple of weather reports as well, which is always fun. So let me just very quickly have a look down at the bottom there. So hi Diane and Jan, who says it's sunny in Weston-super-Mare. It's actually sunny here in Peterborough today as well when I was driving in this morning. Quite deceptive. Chilly, but sunny. We got Margaret and Camille and Margaret says, good morning, Kitty. Great show this morning. So actually, I'm afraid you got me this morning. Kitty will probably be sitting in a car park, not far from here actually, in Peterborough right now after her show this morning. We've got Sue, Paula, Elaine says, good morning from a very dull and overcast Lancaster. Dull and overcast, that's a bit of a shame. But anyway, Pamela we've got, and Sheila, and Margaret is from Grimsby. I used to live in Grimsby, small world. Went to school in Holton-le-Clay. Actually, I went to Waltham Tollbar School, but I lived in Holton-le-Clay. Anyway, you don't need to know that, do you? That's my oversharing again already. This time in the morning, and I'm already oversharing. So, Frances, Elaine, so just got my beading vibe going. Love watching these inspirational tutorials for ideas. And Christine, and Margaret is waiting for her spiders. They were amazing, weren't they? And Di, and hello, Colin. And let's just scroll down to the bottom now very quickly, because people are commenting faster than I can read them. But I just saw there, Catherine is from Cork. My mum lived in Cork. See? She lived in a place called Ballingeary. She doesn't live there anymore, but she did. Alison, and scroll down, and scroll down, and scroll down. And then Molly, morning Molly from Totally Beads, is on today to answer any of your sort of website questions and things like that. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm going to have a little play today with some stringing. Now, I really love Margaret says, yes, I watched Kitty. Yes, it's just you've got me now instead. But, and Robin is from New Jersey. Very nice. Bit chilly there, he says. Or she says, sorry. Double B is female spelling, isn't it? One B is male. Sorry, Robin. Anyway, yes, so we're going to do some stringing. Now, I love a bit of stringing because it's quick, simple, and easy to do. And you can make something in a lickety-split time to wear out. So if you've got an outfit and you think, you know, I want something to jazz that up, you can string something super quickly. This is one that I strung about, oh, goodness me, I must have done this about 10 years ago. And it's just one of my go-to necklaces because it goes with pretty much everything. And then what I'm bringing you today is this gorgeous hematite necklace. So let me just take you over to here so you can see that a little bit better. Here we go, this gorgeous hematite necklace that we're going to be making today with the cubes inside it. Now, it's super quick to make and it's really good fun. It's really good fun and yeah, quite stylish, quite modern, and goes with anything. I think hematite is just so easy to wear because it goes with every single colour. So Catherine says you pronounce Ballingeary perfectly. Well, thank you very much. My mum did live there for 10 years, so it would have been rude if I'd have got it wrong. But yes, Nicola, I'm glad you like it. So, as I said, this is made with the hematite. We've got the hematite squares, we've got hematite cubes, and we've got two sizes. We've got 4mm and we've got 6mm cubes for you there. So great fun to use, very, very simple. Now, as ever, we have got the lovely Simon on the case to help us out with some offers for the bits that you need to make this necklace. So let's just pop over there and have a quick look. So if I just take you, here we go. So you can see there is the website. So we've got the website, and up at the top right hand corner, if you're new to this and you haven't seen these tutorials, there is one every day at 10 a.m. I do one once a week on a Wednesday, but you can go to the Facebook and you'll see up in the top right hand corner here is a link through to all of the tutorials. So you can see there's absolutely loads. Kitty and Sarah have been working like Trojans all the way through lockdown, and they're all here, and you can go back and see them, refer to them, keep looking at them all the way back. But this is the one for today. And now we've got a fantastic offer on these bundles for you. So what Simon has done is he has put together the basic elements of what you need. So let's have a look at the hematite at the moment. So in the hematite, you're going to get one strand of the 4mm, you can see down there, one strand of the 6mm cubes, and one strand of the necklace, or of the base of the necklace, which is the square hole. Now, to give you an idea, to make this necklace, this one, I think you can just see that just there, this size, which is actually 20 inches, not sure what that is in centimetres, my brain doesn't work in centimetres after being a quilter for so long, but a 20-inch necklace takes a whole row, or a whole strand, of the square holes, but it only takes half a strand of the cubes and of both sizes. So you might think, well, actually, I'm just going to chuck another set of the squares, the square hole in there, so you can make a second necklace. You also get in that your toggles as well. Okay, so what you're going to need to add to this bundle, if you haven't already got it, is simply, if you just go back one, is simply you're going to need a pack of crimp beads, crimp covers, and some tiger tail. Okay, and then you are good to go with your project. Okay, so this is what we've got, and tools wise, you're just going to need something to cut your tiger tail. So I've got some little snips, and then something to help you, a couple of sets of pliers for attaching the toggles at either end. The rest of it's done with fingers, which is quite nice and simple. It's nice and easy to do. You can do it on a tray on your lap in front of the television, and these are quite addictive. Now I've put the squares in the middle of these, the cubes in the middle of my squares, but you could put crystal beads in there, you could put pearls in there, you could really mix it up quite a bit to play with the different effects. Let's just see, I've got to see a lot of comments coming up on the side here. So Helen, hello Helen, nice to see some of the ladies and gents from my pages coming over to join us as well, just to see what you're looking at. Margaret says, oh, she says, you are loved as much as Kitty and Sarah M. I also love watching you on Create and Craft. Loved your all-night quilt along. Yes, that was an interesting 12-hour TV show. So Lorna says, good morning Sarah P, Kitty and Sarah M and everyone. Janet says, good morning everyone, it's sunny in Glasgow. And Margaret says, got my spiders, hope the postman is okay. Bent wire sticking out of the packet. Well, it was a spider trying to get out. So, and hello, Jitty, I think, is that how you say it? How you pronounce it? I hope so. I think it's terribly rude to pronounce somebody's name wrong, but I do it all the time, so I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be rude. I'm just a bit rubbish. That sort of thing. But anyway, let's crack on and start making this gorgeous necklace. So what I've got first of all is I've got my tiger tail, and I'm just going to take a nice big length of it because you can cut it down. So this one I'm cutting to about 24 inches. Grab my little snips. I've just snipped the end off, and right, and then let's go over so you can see. Here we are. So I've got my tiger tail, And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pop a crimp bead on one end. What we've got as well with this bundle that we've put together, the first one you can see is the black one, and I've now got silver here, so I'm going to work on the silver because obviously I used all of my black hematite to make that necklace, which I have to say I made last week and I have worn probably almost every day since I made it, because with every outfit it goes with it, whether I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt or whether I've got one of my fancy frocks and my pretty shoes on, everything is going to go with this, modern, traditional, whatever you're wearing, and it's eminently wearable. So this one I'm going to go with the silver. So I've got my load of silver here, I've got some crimp beads, I've got a set of toggles. Well, I haven't actually got silver toggles, which is a bit of a shame, but you will have them in the silver bundle. So just very quickly, hold on. Right, on here you will see that we have two different bundles, and they're actually different prices, and that's because of the price of the individual contents. But Simon has done us a lovely deal on them. So for the black, it's down from $8.50 for the bundle to $6.99. Now you will need to add your crimps, your crimp beads, any crimp covers, and tiger tail if you haven't already got it. But the main components of your bundle are in there. And then again, we've got in this one, this is the silver. So you can see in there you've got your toggles, you've got your hematite cubes in 4mm and 6mm, and then you've got the 14mm squares, and you can buy extras as well if you want to. So there you go. Just pop another one of those if you want to make a second necklace, because as I said, your cubes, you'll only use half a strand of the cubes, but you will use a whole string, depending on, you might be making a bracelet, in which case you get a lot more out of it. But the necklace I made, I used the whole string of it, so the whole 23 pieces, I think there's something like that, 23 odd pieces on there. So Carol says it's sunny here in Devon, and Becky, morning Becky, she said the sun is shining in the Cotswolds. Yay! That's what we like to hear. There's a little bit of sunshine. Okay, so I'm going to move these. I'm going to move these out of the way slightly. I don't need those quite yet, but what I am going to do is I'm going to pop a crimp bead on one end of my wire, if I can find the end of my wire. I like to do this now because it means everything's not going to fall off as I'm going along, because I've done that before. I've not done something with the other end and picked it up and all my stringed beads have popped off. So here we go. Just trying to get one out. Come on, there we go. Right, so I've got my crimp bead. Actually, I need to put my cover on first. Right, so I've got some covers over here. Just opening the little bag. Doing that off screen, my goodness. So I'm going to pop my crimp cover in, and then my crimp bead. You may find, I find it easier to do it this way, to pull this up, because sometimes you can't get the hole in the bottom of the crimp cover is very small, and you can find it tricky to sort of manoeuvre bits onto there afterwards. But yeah, again, I often forget that. So I'm just going to tighten that. There we go, so that's nice and secure. And then I'm going to get my snippers again and snip that off nice and close. I really need to get some more. Of these, because my clippers are getting a little bit blunt. All right, and then we can close that up, and there we are, nice and secure on the end there, so all my bits aren't going to fall off. So let me just cut grab my other scissors and cut the end off my 6mm cubes and my 4mm cubes. And my squares. I like to cut the end off of this rather than in the middle, because I'm going to end up leaving half this strand, so all I have to do is tie off the ends, and I know that I'm going to be leaving all of the rest on there. So let's... Right, so the first one that I'm going to put on is I'm actually putting in between each one of my beads. I'm going to start off with a small, like that. We're just threading it right on. Elaine says would look great as matching earrings. They would, and I was thinking that actually the other day when I was putting it on. I thought I really must make some earrings as well, because earrings, just 2 of those like that on a header pin with the beads in between would look lovely, or even just one, and you could perhaps put a couple of beads at the top here. The thing is, when you start playing with these things, the opportunities are amazing. It depends on whether you like long earrings, whether you like big ones. Elaine says love both. She also says love both coloured kits. I think I'll get both and do a mixture of them, almost monochrome style. That would look amazing. Jane says, can you zoom in a little bit, please? Now, that is a good question. Hang on, let's bring you in a little bit, because this is a new webcam that I've just bought, and I don't know how well it focuses, but I've just dropped you down a little bit, so let's see. Because last week when I did it, my mobile phone that was my webcam decided that it no longer wanted to play with my software. So I bought a new webcam, but webcams don't focus as easily as a mobile phone. So I have to remember to keep my hands down here. So hopefully you can see this a little better. So I have got my first one on there. Then I'm going to pop on the second of my pieces. Now what you want to do is go through the first hole, okay, then we pick up a cube, the larger cube. Now the reason I've done it with the larger cube rather than the smaller cube is the smaller cube fits better, but when you wear it, the cube drops down to the bottom of the square, okay, and that means that you can see more of the cable. So with the larger cube, it is snug, but it does fit. So we come up the other hole, like this, alright, and you need to give yourself a little bit of leeway, but we pop it under, and then we're going to pull it, untwist the tiger tail, and you see that's going to sit in there quite nicely. There you go, and then we slide that down. And then we pop another one on the end there to separate. And then we pick up our next one and we repeat 23 times, or however long you want to make it. Oops. Right, now one of the things that often happens is it just wants to go straight through. So you need to tip it up a little bit and pop it. I use my nail. I've made these before as well with pearls in between. Pearl beads would be beautiful. Depends on the look that you're going. And as well with the pearl beads, it will give you that monochrome look that Elaine was just talking about. And you see, actually that on its own would make a really nice drop earring. So, right, now we go for a small one. As I said, I like really simple patterns. I like things that I can do in front of the television when I've got you know, half an hour, or I'm sitting there watching Morse or something, that I can actually watch the television and do something at the same time, without getting too distracted. You know, when I'm crocheting and I have to follow a pattern, it's easy to either get distracted from what I'm watching on the television or get distracted from what I'm doing. Whereas this, it's just purely repetitive. And you may find sometimes it doesn't want to fit. You just need to give it a little wiggle and it will slide in. So Sandra says that crystal cubes would look great. Oh, they would look amazing. Crystal cubes would be beautiful. So, and then Jane says, love the silver. It's beautiful, isn't it? And this is something that you could give as a gift, because you know it's going to suit pretty much everyone's colouring. So that one wants to go straight through. So what I'm doing here is, to avoid it going straight through to the other hole, is I am pulling downwards, and that makes it want to go upwards, because it wants to be contrary. It wants to do the opposite of what I want to do, obviously. And then we pop it up through here. Elaine says the opaline collection on the website would look very sophisticated. Oh, I haven't seen the opaline collection. I will have to take a look at that. Jane says, I've got lots of hematite beads, different colours, but don't have silver. I know these silver ones, they really are rather snazzy. Very snazzy indeed. Yes. And the joy of this is I can be wearing this in 20 minutes because it's so simple to do and so quick. Look how quickly that's growing. And that's because these hematite boxes that we, or the hollow squares that we're using, are actually quite a good size. You could also, if you wanted to use less of these, put bigger things in the middle. So because you've got a lot of Susan says, are you able to take from picture beads you're not working with, please? Yeah, I can move those out of the way. So these are my little piles, and this is what I'm working with here. There we go. Makes the screen clearer. Right, so pop that in there. Yes, you could put, perhaps in the middle, you could put a small cube and then a large cube and then another small cube, because you do get more than enough cubes to make one. Just try to get that through the other hole. And pull it. And pull that tight. No worries, Susan. You would laugh if you could see the angle at which I'm working to do to do this. So I hope you can see better than I can, because I have a lighting hoop which is actually right in the way. Oh dear, the joy of technology. Right, so Margaret says, that's pretty. It certainly is, isn't it? So when I went down to totally beads, oh, I put 2 cubes on there. Don't want to do that. when I went down to Totally Beads HQ and had a look around the warehouse and saw these, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with them. Straight away, I was like, that's one of the projects I want to do this month. And Sandra says, I would love that as a bracelet. Yes, again, look, we take this. How lovely would that is that going to be as a bracelet? Because it's going to lie flat as well, which is going to be beautiful. So let's put a big cube on. And would you have enough of the hollow cubes to do a long necklace? No, the single strand of the hollow cubes will give you a 20-inch necklace, Lourdes, which if you want to make it longer, you've got a couple of options. One is to put something else in between, put more of the cubes in between to make that much longer. Or you could buy another set, because Simon has put them up on the website for another set of these. You wouldn't need the little square cubes, because you've got quite a lot of those. As I said, we use 23 of these hollow squares, which will give you a 20-inch necklace. And then I've also used, I think it's 23 of these, the 6mm, and 24 of the small one, because there's one at either end. So so if you want, and there's more than that on these strands. This strand is quite long. I will only use half of each of the strands of the cubes. So as long as you interspersed it with more, you get more of it on. So Becky, hi Becky, says, this is mesmerising and so gorgeous. I think this would be a fantastic hobby for my well-being. Very calming. Yes, definitely, Becky. It is quite relaxing. I'm feeling quite relaxed. Jodie says, wonder if you can put hematite stars in the square. You probably can, because the hematite stars are, I'm not sure what the size of the hematite stars is. I don't know if Molly can answer that one, but I think they're a similar size, somewhere between those. I've got a 4 and the 6mm is fitting in here sideways. But I don't know what the size of the stars actually is. Elaine says, would it work as a stretchy bracelet? Yes, it would. It would. Your stretchy elastic should go through these holes quite nicely. So, pop that. And then tuck it in and give it a pull. See, it's getting longer very quickly. Alright, so now I need small. I think I'm going to do this one slightly shorter than the previous one, because the other one that I've got that I made, that we were looking at, this one, this is 20 inches long, and it's actually it's a good length on me, but I think I might stop this a little shorter, so not only have I got a variety of colours to wear. Jane says, I can see why you wear yours every day. Lovely design. Thank you. Thank you. And it's super simple to do. And that's what I like sometimes. I mean, especially if I'm just sort of sitting, watching the TV. I don't like to sit and do nothing. And as a lot of you will know, I am a sewer, but I don't always have a lot. Well, I certainly can't do my sewing, my machine stitching in front of the television, because that would really annoy Paul. Sometimes I do some hand sewing, but quite often that takes a bit more concentration than I want to do. I just want something to unwind. So something like this is absolutely perfect. And actually what I was doing last night was, I've got a new kit for, I think, crystal art. And I was just sitting there last night with it out on the table in the living room, watching the TV, sticking all these little crystals down, and I had a thoroughly lovely evening. It was very relaxing, very mindful. I wasn't doing too much. Just playing. Oh wow, Elaine says, thanks for all the great ideas. Sorry, but got to go. Postman at the door with my Christmas goodies. We'll catch up later. Well, thank you for joining us, Elaine. I hope it's lots of lovely oodles of gorgeousness. Ooh. There we go. And we keep tucking that in. And it should fit nice and snugly. 6mm is about the biggest that you can get away with in these cubes, in the square, because after that, if you know, your 8mm pearls are not going to fit. But you can also, in these, so for example, you could put 3 small beads in there. You could put a crystal, one of the small cubes, put a little bead, small cube, little bead in there to fill that aperture. The reason, as I say, I didn't do that, well, I did have a play with it, but with the small ones, they slid down to the bottom when you were actually wearing it, and it didn't look quite so fetching, I didn't think. Right. Pop through the next top one. So Pauline says, I've just joined you. That looks simple enough for me to do, Sarah. Oh, bless you. Yeah, sometimes we want to be challenged. And the way I look at it is, if you're trying to learn something, if it's not challenging, you're not actually learning it. You know, a new skill should challenge you. But there are times when you just want something simple. I got twisted there. You want something simple and super easy and mindless to do. I think that's a lot of the time, that's what mindfulness is, isn't it? It's you can do something, you're kind of concentrating because you're looking at your hands and you're concentrating on what you're doing, but it allows your mind to wander and for you to sort of relax and be at peace, and that's what mindfulness is about. It should take your thoughts away from whatever's ailing you to something relaxing and hopefully beautiful. Right, so as I said, Simon's done us a cracking deal on the website for these sets. So with each set, you will get enough of the cubes, the 6mm cubes and the 4mm cubes, to make 2, but we do use a whole strand of these squares, these cut out squares. So if you want to make 2 necklaces, either think about putting more of the cubes in between and using half as many of these, or buying yourself a second strand. And we've got them in silver. Hang on, let's get the last of these up, because this is all the rest of them, and then we'll be ready to finish off the necklace. Right. Nearly there. Doesn't take very long at all. But you can vary these quite a lot, as I say, by changing. There are 2 colours available, so I think it was Elaine earlier who said that, oh, it might have been Jane, it was going to get 2 different colours. So we're going to get the black and the silver and mix them up. I think that would be gorgeous, because you see them next to each other. That sort of variety in between. Aren't they lovely? So mix and match them, introduce pearls, crystals, as I said, up to 6mm in there. Anything bigger is really not going to fit very easily at all. or you can put a number of different things in the centre there just to cover the whole piece of your tiger tail. And I'm using tiger tail because without a needle, or I'm using tiger tail so I can do this without a needle. You could use a stringing, you could use thread, you could use Nymo or anything like that, but with a needle. But I quite like to do things where I don't actually need too many tools. Right, how long are we? That's not quite long enough. As I said, I wanted this a bit shorter than my other one, which is 20 inches. A few more, and then hold it up to my neck and see how we are doing. Again, pop that cube inside. Tuck that away. Sometimes it doesn't want to sit in that case, pull it a little bit, and then there we go. So, would they be classed as caged beads? Yes, I suppose they... Well, that's a good question, Jane. You can call them what you like. You can call them what you like. I suppose they would, though caged beads are usually actually sort of a bit more enclosed than these are. But, yeah, you could call them caged beads. Judith said, I've just checked my stash. I have hematite coloured diamond-shaped and blue cues. My stars won't fit, but they'd be good between the frame beads. They certainly would. Popping these in between here, because you can use whatever size you want. It's the effect, I think, comes from having something that fits snugly inside these beads. And I mean, if you do it without, so if you just thread those on, it looks okay. I mean, that looks alright, but I don't like to see the... Oh, sorry, kicked you there. Don't like to see the wire. So I think that's kind of distracting. But I need some more small. Let's just grab my load of small. We're getting there. We're getting towards the end now. Sharon says, running very late today, just popped in while having breakfast. Like the look Sarah and have put in my order. Well, thank you, Sharon. Have a great day all now to get dressed and off to volunteer at the charity shop. Oh, there you go, Sharon. Well, you've got something nice to look forward to as well when you come back. Sheila says, I think the black cubes inside the silver square or vice versa would look quite nice. Yes. And Jodie says, wonder if you could put letter squares for inspirational short words. That's interesting. That is interesting. Jane says frame beads. I think that's a better term for it. Yes, frame beads. But I'm not the beading police. I'm not going to tell you that the way that you do something or the way that you name something is incorrect, because we all have our ways. And as long as what you produce you feel is beautiful, you can call it what you like. Quite like that idea of how putting little letters in there, you know, love, hope, peace, perhaps your name. Though I think you have to be careful when wearing things with your names on. Years ago I went on holiday to Morocco with my dad, and I was walking down a street in Agadir, and all these guys started shouting my name at me. And I thought, how do they know? And then I realised that I'd actually, the day before, bought a necklace with my name in Arabic. So I've got my name, Sarah, written around my neck. So it was a little disconcerting. I thought, how do they know me? Yes, Jane is saying names would be good. Names would be good. Right, a few more. And then I'm just going to check this up against my own neck to make sure that it's the size that I want it to be. Right, so one more small one on here. Hi Linda, good morning to you too. So here we go. Just take that off the mat. So I'm just going to check this against my neck and see if it's long enough. I think maybe one more. Maybe one more will do it. Judith says, my silver stars do fit inside the frames. I didn't realise they were a different size. There you go. There you go. So I'm just going to do one more. That's what I love about beading as well, because you can make this, you can have the same pile of, or the same idea and a pile of beads and make it 5 times, and each time it will be completely different. And you can make, I often make, well, to be fair, I make clothes to match my jewellery, but I do sometimes make jewellery to match my clothes. Right, so that's going to be long enough now, once I've put the toggle on. So just going to make sure that everything is nice and tight. And then I'm going to come back, and there's my little crimp bead there. Oh no, I've got to put my cap on. You see, I nearly forgot to do it again. So, where are my caps? This is a crimp cover. So I get one out of the bag rather than empty the whole lot onto my mat. Alright, so I'm going to pop through the bottom of that crimp hole. Through the hole in the bottom of that crimp cover, rather. Words, I'm getting the right words, just in a completely different order. And my crimp bead in there. I am actually just going to grab a slosh of my cup of coffee. Hold on. It's that time in the morning. Right, so now I'm going to pull it quite tight at first to put my crimp in, because the tiger tail doesn't stretch, but I do want it to have a certain amount of give in it when it's finished. So, or when I do it, so that it's not going to sort of go like this. You see, if you pull it too tight, you don't want it to distort there. Jane, I need to go now. Sarah, hope you have a great day. Bye everyone. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. There we go. So have a good day, Jane. So Linda says, I'm always doing that. My husband says I have my own language. Yeah, I do this. I am aware that I do this. I actually start a sentence or a concept in my head, and I only talk about it out loud when I'm nearing the end. So he'll go to me, you know you've just started that in your head and I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, I do. Right, trying to get in there a little bit far away. I always find this a little tricky, that end one. Get your fingers right in there. You might have just heard the sound of me taking my glasses off. I've reached that age. There we go, let's pop them back on again. So now I have crimped, and I'm just going to slide that in a bit and close my cover. Oh, actually I need to snip first. Here's my snippers. These are getting a little bit blunt. I'll get myself some new ones, I think. There we go. Cut that short but not too short. Close my crimp cover. Right, so I've got that crimped at either end. Let's take these and tie the ends off so I don't lose them. Jodie says I have stars and half moons. Can a half moon instead of square? Oh yes, you could. You could, Jodie. Beautiful. Right, so then I've got my toggles there. If you're going for the silver kit, you will have silver toggles in your kit, but I don't have silver toggles. It's going to be at the back under my hair, so I don't mind too much. Right, so here we go. Now I've got my jump rings, of which I just need 2. I'm trying not to make a mess. I do often make a mess when I'm doing my beading. Right, so I've got 2 sets of pliers here. So I'm going to open them up, but open them with one coming towards me and one going away from me, rather than pulling them apart this way. That means that you don't weaken it. Okay, and then I'm going to put one through this end, and I'm really hoping that I've got jump rings that fit inside there. I'm sorry, I've got to take this out of screen just so that I can do this, because this is well right, hold on, give that a pinch. Needs a bit more of a pinch. I've pinched it off centre. There we go. The old specks come off. I have to do this now when I'm threading. There we go. When I'm threading a sewing machine. So there you go. That's behind the glass, behind the fourth wall, as they call it. Right. So I've got that, and then I'm going to put my other toggle on that end. And pinch them back together again. That's one end, nice and secure. And then I'm going to do the same to the other end. Find the junction. There we go. So pinch towards me. Go through there. Can I do this one without taking my glasses off? Yes. And then pop the other bit of my toggle clasp. I do like a toggle clasp. That's why I asked for them to be put in with this bundle, because I think they're quite stylish and they're easy to put on and put off, especially if you have issues with your fingers. You know, sometimes trying to get one of the, sort of open up the lobster clasp can be a little bit tricky when you're trying to put it on yourself. So there we go. There is our finished necklace. Let me move those bits out of the way. Yes, Jodie, there is a link to the kits. Hang on one second. If I think I just gave you, I think I just put the link there for you, Jodie, but I will put it at the top of the thingy, the feed when we're done. So, oh, words. We have some. I think I'll use them occasionally. But there you go, Jodie. I hope that helps. So you'll find there the kits contain the square, so almost like the frame, which is 14mm wide, 6mm beads, a 6mm cube and a 4mm cube, and the string of cubes will make 2. but you'll need, basically you pretty much use the whole string of the square, the hollow squares, to make a necklace. So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get in your kit one string of the 4mm, one string of the 6mm, and one string of the hollow squares. But you will need, and if you want to make two out of it, basically you'll need another set of these. Okay, so you'll also need to add in your whatever you're using to string onto. I have used tiger tail, and then you'll need to add your crimp beads, maybe crimp covers. You do get the toggles with it as well. So let's take this one off. I do wish that I had put a toggle on here. I've actually got the little screw clasps on there, but now I am ready to rock my new necklace. And there we go. So this is the, I'll put that on at the same time actually, just so you can see the difference in length. Not much, but oh, they go quite well together, don't they? Perhaps I should wear them both. So the one here, I've got two of the framed squares left to give you an idea of the length, and this one I use the whole string. So quite like that. So I hope you have lots of fun with it. Let's just go back to the screen. Here we go. Right. So you hopefully can see that now. So what we've got here is, this is from the website. This is obviously, you'll recognise this if you watch a lot of these. On the front page, you will see up in the top right hand corner that there's the Facebook kits, the Facebook details for every Facebook that Kitty and Sarah and I have done. Kitty and Sarah have been doing this since back in March, every single day. I've just come on board recently, and I think this is my third one, and I'm having a great time. So here we go, this is today's. So you click on today's, and there you'll be able to watch the video once it's finished. I think it uploads there. And here we have the kits. So Simon again has done us a lovely deal on the black hematite kit and the silver. So the silver's down from £12.50 to £9.99, and the black one is from £8.50 down to £6.99. And from each of those kits, you'll be able to make at least one necklace, but you will have half a string left over of the cubes. Let's go into that. So you'll have half a string of those and half a string of those left over. So you could just add an extra set of the square hole into your basket, and then you'd make two necklaces out of it, or two a necklace and a bracelet or something like that. Oh, hang on. Right, so also what you've got in there, chatting to Simon, it was like, well, people have probably got some tiger tail wire, or they've got crimp beads, but if you haven't, you can pop those in there as well. We've got them in silver for the silver bundle, we've got them in black for the black bundle, and then the crimp beads, we've got the black and the rhodium, which is like a lighter colour than that. So here we go, I'm now rocking my two new necklaces. Right, so Susan says, very interesting tutorial, great outcome, looks fantastic, thank you. I think it does, doesn't it? I think I might actually wear both today, because they do look like they should be a set. Hey, another design idea. As I say, you never know what you're going to come up with, do you? So thank you very much again for everybody who has joined me, and thank you for watching, because I know you're very used to Kitty and Sarah, and they are much loved, but I'm going to interrupt their little flow once a week on a Wednesday. Oh, thank you, Judith. So look beautiful. Love you too. But yes, I'm going to interrupt their flow every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. I'll be here with something. So do go back and have a look. I've done two previous ones. One is the button necklace behind here, which I also wore last week. And we did some recycling or upcycling bag handles, which was quite good fun. And now I am working on a little fascinator for next week. So it's still a work in progress. I'm still playing. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. So I look forward to seeing you here next week. Obviously, everybody else is going to be back here tomorrow and every day at 10 a.m. But thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you are enjoying your beading. Have a lovely day. If you've got good weather, enjoy it. If not, I'm sorry. But stay safe, stay well, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.